Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I'm on it today. I am, I swear. So this last week, this last weekend, um, my hold on, let's restart. What was I saying about being on top of it? So this last weekend, we wrapped up the adventure from Outburst to Peace in my Facebook group, which is linked in my bio if this is something you want to check out. It's actually stored in the guide section, so you can go through it anytime and glean all the amazingness, or maybe you've already started your own adventure from Outburst of Rage to a more peaceful life. And if that's the case, you'll probably at least gain a lot of things. Maybe not all of it will be new to you, but I think a lot of it will be. At least, obviously, my perspective. Anyways, we just wrapped that up, and there's so many things that I could talk about in this group of heart-centered and intentional horsewomen, which, by the way, there are people in this group that are not horse lovers and are not women. I digress. There's so many things I could talk about. So many, like, I'm working on writing my book, so I have like all of these ideas that I want to bring to you because I am so deeply passionate about having hope for every horse and finding the best situation to allow every horse to have their best life, but also for them to be actively involved in our lives, right? Like, not only do I want these horses to be comfortable to live out their days, but I want them to be able to be whatever you had in mind for them. And that's not always possible. You know, sometimes things happen and we have a jumping prospect that we just cannot keep jumping because fill in the blank injury. There's a lot that we can do for them, but it's not fully recoverable in the sense that, you know, they might not be able to be a 4-foot jumper anymore because, you know, they had a tendon injury or something. But in most cases, most of the problems that I experienced with horses growing up were problems that I know now were fixable or my fault entirely. So there's that. Let's own it. It's my fault entirely with some of the issues that my horses had, but I didn't know any better. And I was surrounded by really good horse people. So it's not just me. It's the education level of the horse industry as a whole. I think it's getting a lot better. Obviously, I've learned a lot, and I know there are other people out there that are educating on this level. But you know, we just didn't know any better. People just didn't know any better. And so I was kind of debating what I was going to talk about next in my group. And I have seen so many posts recently, people asking about saddle pad recommendations to get their sway-backed horses saddled comfortably. And I am here to tell you how to get that best fit on your sway-backed horse, because somebody needs to say it. And if it's got to be me, I'm going to do it. So how do you get that best fit on your sway-backed horse? 99% of these cases, you need to fix the sway. And there are a ton of people out there that will come at me for saying this, and I'm here for it. I mean, I don't really want you to, like, you know, be mean to my comments or whatnot, but I'll take it because it needs to be said. The sway can be fixed, even with an aging horse. So here's the thing. If you have an aging horse that is starting to show sway or is more advanced in the sway, that's because you didn't catch the sway soon enough, okay? This isn't just an old age thing. This is a lack of muscle issue. If you have a horse with a sway back, they don't have a top line built. They are letting all of those muscles along the back are not strong enough to support the barrel of the horse. The horse is not moving in a way that supports them rounding their back up. And that rounding their back up is what's going to prevent the sway or correct the sway. Now, I've heard a lot of people say it's genetic. Okay, well, study epigenetics, y'all. Study epigenetics, because genetics is not an excuse anymore. We know that scientifically genetics is not an excuse. So unless your horse was born with actual birth defects in the spine, where the spine did not grow correctly and it's completely malfunctioned, and you can see it in x-rays that it was born that way, then we'll talk a little bit about the possibility of it not being correctable. But if you're telling me that this horse developed a sway back, guess what? You can undevelop that. You can grow the muscles back. And no pad ever is going to fix your saddle fit enough to prevent pain. Okay? A saddle pad is not going to make up for a poorly fitting saddle. Ever. It's just not. Because it doesn't matter what pad you put in there, there's still going to be pressure points from your saddle. What are those pressure points going to do? They're going to inhibit your horse from being able to build the muscle necessary to reverse that sway. So you're wasting time and money and causing pain to your horse potentially. It's not a fun place to be. So there are exercises that you can be doing to get your horse stronger, to round their back up, and it will take time. And I'm not talking about, I do carrot stretches and belly lifts, and we, that's what we do. And I'm certainly not talking about you riding your horse with a sway back, encouraging them to lift their back. You go, just think about the common sense level of that. Okay. Your horse's back is already swaying. Okay. They've already got a sway. And then you sit on it and you're like, here, lift your back up. Lift it up. It'll make you stronger. No. If your horse has a sway back and your saddle doesn't fit, you shouldn't be riding until you correct the sway. I know you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it. And I understand. I understand completely because I've been there, because I've been in that situation. I've been in your shoes, and I understand that you don't want to wait. But why don't you want to wait is the question. What is it that you absolutely cannot wait to ride your horse for? What are you riding for? If it's not for pure enjoyment, and if you don't care about how your horse feels about it, if you don't want your horse to be involved in the relationship and feel like you care for them, are you building a partnership, or are you using a machine until it no longer runs? Somebody had to say it, you guys, because I've seen way too many people saying it can't be corrected. Don't be judgy just because they're looking for a pad. I'm not judging anybody who's looking for a pad. I'm trying to educate, and I always try and do so very, very politely and graciously, because people just don't know. Because I didn't know. There was a time I didn't know, but I know now, and you need to know that you can correct it. It can be corrected, and until it's corrected, no pad is going to make up for it, ever. So that's my spiel for tonight, because I can't take it anymore, because people don't know how much damage they can do by continuing to ride in that situation. So thank you for joining me for my rant talk. And if you have trouble with this, if this is an issue and you're like, listen, lady, prove it. Okay, I will. You can head over to my website, margaretparsons.com. And in the little menu at the top, like there's the little 3 bars that you can click if you're on your phone, or if you are on a computer, then it's going to be the little button that says menu. That drop-down list there's something called a virtual equine evaluation. Do that. Work with me on this evaluation, you guys. These evaluations are ridiculously affordable right now, and they will not always be. Like, I don't know, you would never get a lot of other professionals to do this work for the price I'm doing it for, but it's because I can serve you and I can show you that your horse is fixable. The issue you're having is something that we can fix, and I can show you how. So grab one of those virtual equine evaluations if this is a struggle area for you and you need some guidance. I will be more than happy to do that with you. And it's going to rock your world. It's going to change your world, and the way your horse moves, the way your horse feels, and the way you guys connect together, because your horse is going to feel comfortable, and you're not going to just be riding even though they're not fit enough for you to be riding. Okay. All right. I'm going to get out of here, because this is something I could go on about for a long time. But anyways, yeah, you can check out my website. The links in my bio on Instagram and also on Facebook. Yeah, it's everywhere. So check those out. And I will catch y'all tomorrow.